This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well. We are ready to rock. We're going to do our best today, okay? Because I got to tell you, it hit me a little harder than I expected, this cold. So it's just one of those things. So I know the voice was kind of running out of gas yesterday. We got a loaded show today. So I will try to last as long as I can and give you as much as I can today, because we are definitely playing a little hurt today, I got to admit. So you see me, I'm a ball of energy no matter what. And I still have some energy here, but I got to say, it's taking a toll on me a little bit. I bought the tape, by the way. And Nico Jones, thank you for sending me the video. I bought the tape. I'm not using it yet because I got to wait till I'm healthy. Because if not, I'm going to be taking off the tape 4, 5, 6 times a night because I've got to cough and clear my throat and all that kind of stuff. So I will end up starting it in a couple days here when I've recovered. So hopefully we'll get it done. DMB says... So you got the horn, and the boys got it done last night. That was awesome. Up until, what was it, like 18 minutes in the third period when they tied it, and Reinhardt gets that goal, and finally we're tied, and our asses are saved. That was rough last night, I gotta say. It was, and they played good defense. It wasn't like the Caps were getting all kinds of shots and everything. The Cats actually played all right last night. And then they finally got, a couple of really key goals at the end of the third period of tide, and then get the one in overtime. And now we're tied at 2-2 now, coming back to Florida on Wednesday night. So we'll see what happens. I'll put it this way. They saved the season for now. That's all I can say. Because they've got a lot of work left. They've got to win 2 more games. And this team is giving them everything that they can handle. And one of the things that they're bringing a physicality to the game. And the Panthers have got to match it. And while you watch that game, I mean, the Panthers have the speed, they have the skating, they have the better they have the better skaters. The problem is, as they say, in the broadcast, the ice gets smaller in the playoffs, and that's what's happened. And so it becomes more of a physical game. And there were some shots too yesterday. Obviously, the refereeing may not have been very fair at times. Yeah, power play is awful. What are they? 0 for 12 or 13 or whatever it is. Yeah, they've been terrible on the power play the entire time throughout this series. It's been brutal. It's been brutal. What else can I tell you? There's no other way to put it. That's why when I look at it, I say, okay, I'm glad that they saved the season, because we all know if they go down 3-1, there's no way they're winning this series. Just no way. So it's hard to imagine. You know what I'm saying? And thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate it. The super chat already early here in the show. The voice is already. I'm 4 minutes in, and the voice is already shot. It's hard. It is hard, man. My throat is hurting, man. I ended up coughing a lot last night, so it ended up getting my throat a little sore. So I know that to do a lot of talking today is going to be pretty difficult today overall. But anyway, so appreciate all of you out there as always, keeping it locked. But it was a terrific win last night. They saved the season. They got the goals. Sam Bennett gets the one in overtime. Ekblad, by the way, I'm sorry, Verhaeghe gets the one in overtime. Bennett and Ekblad with the assists in the game. And it was just beautiful to be able to save the season, man. That was just absolutely awesome, because as I told you, this is headed for something disastrous after the year you've had. You cannot get bounced in the first round. You just can't. And I know Washington's not a pushover, but they're the 8th seed and you're the 1st seed. So go out there and get it done. You know what I'm saying? And at least they were able to stave off Washington. Let's see what they can do on Wednesday. Remember, Washington is very good on the road. So this isn't going to be easy for the Panthers. And don't forget, folks, to smash the like button there. We really appreciate it if you can. 1-800-ALARM-ME, proud sponsor of our program, is the Sloman Shield. I protect my home. Sean Stanley. Whoa. There we go. Sean Stanley protects his home. So do we with Alarmo and the great folks at Sloman Shield. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And right now, folks, we're giving away a free doorbell camera. So make sure you want to get a free doorbell camera. You call 1-800-ALARM-ME, the first 40 Big O listeners right now. Free doorbell camera connects directly to your smartphone. That way you know everything going on in your home, man. Who's coming, who's delivering, who's out the door, if you want to, deal with it or not. And by the way, not only does it connect to your smartphone, when you use our central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. I don't know how I'm going to last. I got to tell you, I have no idea how I'm going to last. Do me a favor, Sean. See if we can get Manny on now. Okay, he's set for 11:30. See if we can get Manny on and get some of the interviews in as soon as we can. So we can get some of the interviews, and that'll give my voice a little bit of a rest. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Big O, did the Miami Dolphins finalize and sign Sony Michel? Let's talk a little bit about that. Sony Michel is a kid. I was a big fan of Sony Michel coming out of Georgia. But, sometimes you got to take the L. And Sony Michel has been an underachiever his whole career so far in the pros. He's been often injured, unreliable, inconsistent. And he did a nice job for the Rams. Now he was desperate, needed a job. They were desperate. They needed a running back after losing several. And he did a good job. He has talent. The only thing I would tell you about Sony Michel is do not rely on him. So right now I'm looking at Sony Michel as training camp fodder is what I'm looking at. Really, training camp fodder. Another body. I don't know if he'll make it. I don't know if he'll last. You know what I'm saying? So Joel says, Big O, cut it off early today. Everybody slam the hell out of the like button so he can call it a day and take some Nature B. Thank you. Thank you. Hunter says, Big O, call it early today. Take a rest. I may have to. I don't know if, I don't think it's a good idea for me to go 3-4 hours with my voice the way it is, unfortunately. What's 2 minutes? He'll be here? Okay. All right, so we'll get Manny in 2 minutes. And I already got the honey and the lime. It's I could douse it with whatever. It's rest, man. Unfortunately, it's rest that I need. That's it. I'm hurting today, folks. I'm sorry. I thought I would get rid of it quickly, but it actually ended up hitting me harder last night. So it was like one of those things like I didn't expect. But what are you going to do, right? It's life. You got to move forward and try to overcome. You can't point fingers and oh, woe is me. Ain't nobody going to feel sorry for your ass. Big O, Sony Michel is less injury prone in his career than Mostert has been. Maybe they think having enough bodies will be enough. They already have a lot. I don't know how many running backs you're going to keep. Remember, you got the fullback, you've got Mostert, and you've got Chase, right? And then it's all the other guys that you have. Gaskins, Ahmed, Michel, whatever, and we'll find out. But he's been very injury prone. I just would not count. I remember Mostert's here for a year. That's all it is. So I'm just saying, look, it's depth. It's another body for camp. But until he kind of proves to you that he can be consistent, you really can't count on him. That's all I'm saying. Don't work yourself up for somebody that has proven to be pretty much unreliable throughout his career. That's all I'm saying. And those are the facts, So I just wouldn't put a lot of weight on Sony Michel. I hope he stays healthy. I was a big fan, but you got to take the L sometimes and say, yeah, it hasn't worked out. For a first rounder, it hasn't worked out. It's just the way we got to say it, GP Trap is ready to take over. I like it. Aaron says, take a break, O. No need to apologize. Thanks for all the grinding these past few months. Love and prayers, brother. Fins up. I think Aaron's basically saying, take a break, O. I can't listen to your ass for a couple of hours with that voice. Weapons X United, thank you, sir. Says, you're a trooper, bro. We understand if you need to cut it short today. We love you, but we're out here. Thank you. Two Extreme says, Sony will be our power back and short yardage guy who can also help protect and pick up blitz for Tua. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but Nick, the trainer for Tua, Perform, you can go to his Twitter page, and he says that Sony and Tua hit it off last year, and that they get along great, and he thought that eventually Sony would end up on the Dolphins, and so obviously Sony's on the Dolphins now, so we will see. You know what I mean? I hope he can stay healthy because he can play. The talent is undeniable. He's 27. Maybe he figures it out. Maybe he figures out his body and he's able to stay healthy. But the only thing I would tell you is don't work yourself up to the point where you're counting on him. That's all I'm saying. Just take it more as if it happens, great. If it doesn't, well, it is what it is. Let's see. What else do we have? Michel shredded Miami at least 3 times. Yeah, it's nice. That's really nice, Tony. Doesn't take away from the fact that he is always injured and is unreliable, dude. So, I mean, none of that shit means anything. That he shredded Miami 3 times and $100 doesn't buy you anything. It won't get you into bed in Miami. Sam Elliott has nothing on you except a stash. That is one of the great stashes of all time. And I am sounding some Sam Elliott. Is that what you're saying? Well, yeah, I'm just sounding like Sam Elliott. All right, let's. Sam Elliott says, let's go to Manny Navarro in our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
We're back. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you feeling, my brother? I hope
feeling good, oh? Huh?
Yeah, I hope better than me. I'm hurting, bro. I'm hurt.
What happened with you, man?
Like once or twice a year. I'm a weirdo. Like, so I have to. I sleep with these 2 like hurricane speed fans right in my face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to sleep in the cold, and so, but I have to cover my mouth in order to do that and I have to maintain it all the time because if I leave it open and the wind starts going in, boom, I get a cold no matter what. It's, Nature Bee protects me from all the other bullshit outside, but
right.
That one thing, nothing can protect me from that shit, dude. Nothing. And so I slipped up and I left it open on Friday night, and sure enough, by Saturday I started feeling like shit, and it's gotten worse, actually, a little worse, but it's not COVID. I tested myself again yesterday because like it started to pick up, and I told my wife, you got another one of those tests? She said, yeah. And so I used another test. I've done it 3 days in a row. So I guess I don't have it. Right. I mean, if I've done it 3 days in a row while I'm sick, there's no way it's COVID. Okay. So, all right. So it's not COVID, but it's a cold, and it is what it is. So it's hurting the voice now. So I appreciate you coming on early because I need some help, bro.
Hey, brother. I understand. And I owe you one from last Friday anyway, being on the West Coast time and being confused. So I owe you one anyway. But
all good. Bro.
Thanks for bringing me back on. I flew home Friday from Phoenix. We had our little athletic. The athletic had their college football meetings out there, which was productive. I played a little 3-on-3 basketball with a few of the guys. The national guys did not represent myself well because that 100-degree Phoenix heat, playing 3-on-3 basketball. And the sun was just beating down on everybody, so I didn't play very well, but I did make it back in time to attend John Reese's party, essentially the one that he had on the beach with over 100 different athletes. I got to talk to a whole bunch of guys that are under contract with him, and of course there's the big NIL story going on now, right, where the NCAA is trying to work their way back in and create some rules in place to try to curtail boosters, enticing kids to come to schools with money. And I don't know that you ever put the genie back in the bottle at this point, bro, not after the Supreme Court decision and everything else. So whatever the NCAA does, I think they're in for they're in for some fights, some legal fights with some of
For
these
sure.
organizations.
For sure. It's the same. It's the same. No matter what's going on right now, what anybody tells you or me or whatever, it's the same thing with crypto. Toothpaste
Mhm.
is out of the tube.
Yeah.
Banking is not ever going to be the same again. Decentralized banking is going to crush banking all over the world. And that's why governments are terrified of this, because it actually gives the people power. And so eventually you can't stop something like this. And I think that's the same thing here. You've been abusing these kids for many, many years. And I remember, listen, I've been at it so long now, 32 years. I was an idiot 20 years ago,
Mhm.
because 20 years ago I was the moron that would make the argument, well, they're getting an education. They're giving them a scholarship and they can study and set themselves up. But that naivete doesn't carry you very far when you really look at these kids, and most of them aren't going for an education. They're going
No.
because they think they're going to the NFL or the NBA or whatever the hell it is, and they're using you for that step forward. They don't give a crap about the education. And so I don't have a problem with them making money. I don't have a problem with them switching schools. We've watched colleges abuse. We've watched coaches abuse the situations, because when it gets ugly, they can pick up and move and go to the next school and leave the mess behind them, a la
Mhm.
LeBron style, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think I had a long conversation with Jake Garcia's father on Friday, and you're talking
Mm,
about a guy who was a police officer for a long time. And I asked him, because Jake's deals are, I think, 60 and 80,000 for the next 2 years with uh with Ruiz and Life Wallet. And I asked him, I said, so how long did it take you in your career to get to $60,000 as a police officer? You know?
oh God.
And he says, listen, man, he's like, that's the whole thing. He says, I think these kids, in a way, they're being taught lessons that in terms of how to handle money, responsibility, etc. That's part of what they're learning with these deals, paying taxes, everything else that goes into this. And he said, quite frankly, he probably wouldn't be living here if it wasn't for some of this NIL money that helps the whole cause with Jake. Being able to help him pay all the bills he needs to pay, and then them living here. They moved with Jake from California and Georgia over here. So
Well, that's a blessing in itself. What the hell? Why
yeah,
would you want to live in California right now? That
no,
place
of course
is
not.
an absolute disaster. So
But
that in itself was a blessing for them.
yeah, well, but people think, oh, okay, well, where does all this money go? They're all buying $1 million cars. I'm telling you, man, even the car deals that some of these guys have, yes, they're driving Dodge Chargers. Yes, maybe they're driving Beamers, but it's not like they're all running around in Lamborghinis and Ferraris, bro. Like this whole concept
Right.
of where this money goes and how it's used. A lot of the kids that I've talked to, they're just giving the money to their parents. Their parents don't have much money at all, so they're just sort of handing it over. Hey, here, I'm trying to make it to the NFL. That's what my goal is. Here's the money to help pay the bills for the house this week or whatever. And so the money's being put to good use, I think, in a lot of these instances. And I know ultimately the NCAA doesn't care about that. This is all a power grab, right? Everybody wants to control the situation. And now Miami's got a big billionaire who is helping a lot of their student athletes out and attracting people to come down here. And well, that's why the rules are changing, right? That's why all these all these things are being done. But Ruiz told me on Friday he's ready for a fight. They said come and tap him on the shoulder. He's ready to prove himself. So from a Miami perspective, I know these NIL rules are out there and people are talking about what's going to happen. What are they going to do? I really think Miami's in a pretty good situation compared to schools that have collectives, which is, the way that they're utilizing the money and the way that they're paying kids and the contracts that they're signing. Those are more problematic than the ones that Ruiz is signing, which is specific to advertising and marketing for his businesses.
Yeah, and listen, you would hope, Ruiz being a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
that he is kind of, dotting all the I's and crossing all
Oh
the
yeah,
T's, and making sure that he can, like, okay, and he's got all the proof and everything there,
he
so that
does.
way yeah, exactly, and if he's able to, because it's kind of the whole thing of, you worry about who's giving who money, because if it's just a booster that's going out there and buying some kid, again, he may not know all the rules, he may not know all the laws, and then he may end up breaking them. Whereas a guy that you would expect that is a lawyer would actually know all the laws and the loopholes, of course, so you can take advantage of them.
Absolutely. And I think he's he's got a whole legal team that checks everything. And from the University of Miami end, I said, how's he doing? Basically, everything goes through their compliance office and immediately goes to the NCAA, and they immediately check it. So it's not like they don't have a system in place where there's some safeguards for all this. Now, the issue is going to be enticement, right? It's when does he have these conversations with these potential recruits? The rule states essentially that boosters aren't allowed to be involved in the recruiting process. So he's told me in the past he's had conversations with recruits, people who have reached out to him and ask him questions about NIL and so forth, parents, etc., people around the players. Will that get Miami in trouble? We'll see. It depends on what the NCAA can prove ultimately, and ultimately they're depending on the parents and the kids who are getting paid to turn these guys in if they're sort of crossing that threshold.
And don't forget, folks, if you order at caneswear.com, you order over $99, you will get free shipping. 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Go to caneswear.com and go check it out. Whether it's Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, Heat, Inter Miami gear, and of course, anything and everything with the UM logo, you can go to caneswear.com and check it out. Go see Brett and all the great people out there. They will definitely take care of you. We'll be out there broadcasting live next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We'll be broadcasting live over at Caneswear. All right. So recruiting wise, we had the spring game, right? And obviously some changes probably are going to be made, and players that he was unhappy with and maybe got a tap on the shoulder like, yo, you're not going to get a lot of playing time. So what are we hearing? Any new names coming out of the transfer portal? And we are coming up to the deadline, correct?
Yes. Well, the deadline already passed. That was May 1st.
Oh.
So
May 1st. That's it. We're done.
If you're an underclassman and you haven't graduated yet and you want to do a transfer, you had to have been in by May 1 to be football eligible for this fall.
Okay, so now it's just seniors? Is that what you're saying?
Now I think grad transfers can still if they choose to leave after the fact. If you're a grad transfer, that's a different rule. This was the one-time transfer rule essentially for underclassmen. If you haven't graduated yet, you can always transfer as a grad transfer. Excuse me. Yeah, they're in on a couple different kids. One of them is Jalen Robinson, UCF wide receiver, former UCF wide receiver, kid from Oklahoma, who initially I was told he would probably be going home to play for SMU. Now he's visited a bunch of universities. He's going to be coming to visit Miami as well. I spoke to an intermediary regarding Jalen to ask what's his deal. And what I was told was he's all over the place. So who knows what this kid's going to end up doing. I think he's going to have an announcement on May 18th. But he's a former
teenager.
20, 21 years old kid, he's
20. Okay. Well,
and this is going to be, I think, his second transfer, because he was originally at Oklahoma, or had signed with Oklahoma, and then ended up at UCF. So,
this guy's from the Stephen Blake School of Transferring. I got you.
I believe so. Yeah. So, but originally I was told that the most likely scenario would be he'd be going home to Texas. Another Texas, Dallas guy, just like Charleston Rambo. He was productive last year. Didn't have a great year. I kind of look at him as an average guy who could come in and be a rotational piece. The one that Miami obviously wants is Jordan Addison, and that's the Biletnikoff Award winner from Pitt, who entered the portal. I've been told, a couple different people, that he's just not sort of returning any interest for what Miami, wants, and hoping to get him here. So I think we'll see what happens with Jordan Addison. That's a big national story. But at this point, I don't think Miami's really in the race for him. And then there's also one more guy, another offensive lineman that they're looking at. Mario, he can't help himself. The kid out of Charlotte, I forgot what his name is, but he was a 24-game starter there at Charlotte, UNC Charlotte. Another guy to sort of put in the rotation at guard and tackle. Mario's just looking for the best offensive line he can put together, and as many guys as he puts there. Part of it is to build depth. Part of it is to
you ain't getting anywhere without an O-line, bro. I don't give a shit. Ain't getting anywhere.
So that's
not just the Tua thing, by the way. That's an everybody thing. But go ahead.
Yeah. So those are the transfer portal type guys that could potentially be added here. I think Miami's at 83. When I did my math, I think they're at 83 scholarships. They got two left. And essentially another thing the NCAA is pitching is just make it 85, right? You can sign as many as you want each year, just as long as you're under 85. That's in the process of being ironed out here as well. So I don't think you have to worry anymore about the initial scholarships. You were only allowed 25 before, and then with the transfer portal, they said if 7 guys leave, you can sign up to 7 more. Now it's kind of like, okay, no, there's too many teams that are under the 85 scholarship limit. We need to get back to some normalcy. So that's the initiative being pushed there. So I think in terms of scholarships, you can probably get 2 more guys for this roster for this coming season, and then after that, we'll figure it out.
By the way, when let's just wrap it up with this. Can we just call the transfer portal the Stephen Blake transfer?
We can
rules?
rename it. We can rename it if you want.
Listen, we think about this. This kid was in high school, and he was ahead of the curve on everybody because he's playing at Killian, and all of a sudden Schaefer thinks he's got him,
right?
And he says, "Nah, I'm going to go to Miami Lakes."
Yeah,
and obviously Miami Lakes became a monster, and then he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to Miami High," and then Miami High became a monster, and then Miami High got in trouble, and he left, and he goes, "I'm going to go to Oak Hill Academy." You know what I mean? He was ahead of his time, transferring in high school.
Yeah.
From one high school to another. It's got to be the Stephen Blake transfer portal is what it has to be. I mean,
we're going to make that push. We're going to make that push.
He had the what's that called? The foresight, my man.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
listen, I don't think a lot of people know about that they don't really realize about Stephen Blake, how he like manipulated that whole thing, and God bless him, bro.
No, he was one of the first ones. He was the Kurt Flood of the transfer portal, is what he was, right? That's what he was. Nobody has any idea who Kurt Flood is, by the way.
Right? No, that too. Yeah.
We're just 2 old guys talking sports here. Listen. Kudos to the guys who can work the system to their advantage, right? I mean, he was the first player to really do that, and now we got boosters that are doing that in the new NIL world. So it's been interesting to watch unfold. I think I'm hopefully to get Mario here on the phone the next week or so. I got to write a couple stories for The Athletic, but I think for the most part he's satisfied with the roster reconstruction that he's done here. Think about where Miami was, how many recruits he added, how many transfers he's added. I think from a mission standpoint of can we meet all of our needs, I think they're very close. They're very close to where they want to be.
All right, what are you working on in The Athletic so our folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, well, I had that interview with Malik Rozier, the former Canes quarterback, last week that I promised I would get online. So I'm working on a story on that, and the podcast will be up as well. I'll be sharing some more notes from my conversations last Friday with a couple of different guys. I met a bunch of the new transfers, the kids from UCLA, Caleb Johnson, Agude, Mitchell Agude, all the guys that are the new additions to the roster. I talked to a whole bunch of those guys, so there'll be a whole bunch of content on that. And then state of the program. We have our series every year. If you want to go in depth on every team in college football, we've got our best writers writing these 3,000 word pieces on. So I'll be doing Miami and UCF, and that'll be in the works. And I'll probably take a little vacation, man, because this is the time of year to do it before things get really, really crazy.
That's right. You better do it. And there you go. So we'll be the only ones bothering you during your vacation.
It's all good. I always like talking to you guys. Talking to you is like being on vacation. Just shooting the SHIT, you know.
That's what we try to do every day here with all our folks. It's just kind of, just a relaxing, shooting the crap conversation. So it is what it is.
Exactly. Yep.
Excuse me. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic and make sure you subscribe. Manny, I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend.
Feel better, my friend. See ya.
You got it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Don't forget EJD Construction, proud sponsor of our show. Call them 305-433-4843. Not a handyman. If you're looking for custom home reconstruction, you want to add a second floor to your house, you want to add a new room, you want to modernize your kitchen, you want to create a killer, what's it called, the man cave, you want to redo the backyard, tiki hut and whole kitchen and everything, the barbecue and all that. EJD Construction, fully insured, liability and all. Please do not hire anybody to work in your home that isn't fully insured, because that can create problems for you. Call them 305-433-4843. Cameron Wolf is next.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Cameron Wolf, ready to join us and rock and roll a little bit. We'll get to the Dolphins and Sony Michel in just a minute, but congratulations to your Sixers. I thought the Heat would, be a little bit more in control of this series. I still think Harden is close to cooked as it is, but he's finding a little bit of fumes left in that gas tank that he's dragging around. But Embiid, Embiid, there is no answer for Embiid for the Miami Heat. None. None. He froze. It's not the day you need to freeze. I need you to talk so I can rest a little bit there, Cam. So we get Cam, and he freezes. Tell you. That's my luck. You guys have to lower the volume on the commercials. They are way too loud. Besides watching Sony Michel twice a year with the Pats, I was never overly impressed. He's a good player. Yes, now we got you.
Yeah, sorry.
So we have no answer for Embiid. Your boys.
Oh no. He's the most dominant big man in basketball. I don't care what the MVP voters say. And it's a big difference, right? A big difference when he's on the court versus he's not. So I'm excited for tonight's Game 5, man. A lot of Heat fans were in my mentions talking about Heat in 5, and it was going to be easy work even without Joel. And it's different. It's different. So I'm eager. I'm not going to talk too much because it's a big game tonight. But I do feel good about the Philly boys. I think James Harden's coming back at a different level. Embiid is balling. And the Heat have not been shooting the ball well. So, we'll see.
Well, they didn't, I think they've made too much of that. I think it's their defense that would trigger the offense. That's really the problem. And I keep saying that what you have to do is you can't put Bam on Embiid the entire time because he'll foul out. So what you do is what you've kind of been doing, but you need to stop everybody else. Let Embiid get his points, bro. You're not going to stop him anyway, so why give away those fouls? If you want to give away fouls, if Dedmon wants to play today, if he can, or you're Sabian, brother, I'd hammer him with 12 of those. You know what I mean? And make sure hit that thumb a couple of times. That's probably what I would do with those guys. But my perimeter defense, I'd be playing more Caleb Martin today, and I'd be going after Harden and Maxey and those guys. To me, that's what the Heat has to do. They have to eliminate the perimeter. You're not going to eliminate Embiid. So Embiid's not going to beat you by himself. What's beating you is that the other guys are playing off of Embiid. So let Embiid get his stuff, but stop everybody else. That's what I think the Heat need to do. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, but the scary part about that is Embiid didn't even go off in Game 3 and 4. He had a very average game offensively, and so those other dudes were eating. So if you let Joel really heat up, then I don't know if it's a close game.
Let him heat up.
I don't know, because regardless, Maxey's gonna get his. He's the fastest dude on the court. James Harden's gonna hit some of them step back threes.
That's why you got to go after him.
The problem is the only guy they don't have an answer for is Embiid. They have an answer in some capacity for all these other dudes. They don't have an answer for Embiid. I'm sorry, Bam. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough. He can't do anything with Joel.
Nope. And what we keep saying with Bam, and we got to stop already. Well, is he going to take the next step? It's not in him, bro. It's not in him. He doesn't have it. in him to be a dog on offense. He's incredibly passive on offense. He'll get his points and whatever, but he doesn't demand it. You know what I mean? He doesn't feel like he has to at times take over some. Whereas
Right.
Alonzo Mourning, he wasn't going to go without you giving him the ball.
Yeah.
He was going to say,
Yeah.
give me the ball now.
Right.
And you had to dump it into Zoe. And because those kind of guys are built that way. And unfortunately, we keep waiting for something from Bam that just naturally is not in him. It's not who he is.
Big O, sometimes guys are just content being Robin, man. Some guys just want to be sidekicks. Sometimes they don't want to be the superhero. It's fine. You know, we're not all built to be superheroes. So I think that Bam is content being Robin. Problem is, I just don't know if they have a super Batman there. I love Jimmy. I just don't know he's a good enough Batman to get you where you need to go.
No, it's all the other guys that have to become the Robins. That's kind of what this team is. And so if they're not playing defense, I would expect Gabe Vincent to play tonight because he can play some defense. And instead of everybody talking about Duncan, dude, Caleb Martin's the guy that I would be playing in this game tonight because he can also make threes, but he can defend. And so, you know, Lowry at this point, I know he says he hasn't had any soft tissue injuries and all that, but look at your age and look at your body, bro. You don't take care of yourself. I mean,
Big O, you've been talking about James Harden been cooked, man. Kyle, I don't know what Kyle Lowry is if James Harden is cooked. Kyle Lowry.
By the way, I wasn't a fan of the contract. I wasn't a fan of the contract because I figured you can get the first year out of Jimmy and Lowry, but the back end of those contracts are going to be terrible. They just are. They're going to be terrible. It is what it is. So we'll see what happens tonight. All right, let's get to Sony Michel.
Yep.
I like the acquisition. I was a big Sony Michel guy when he came out of the draft, but I got to take the L because he has never been able to stay healthy or consistent or reliable. He's had injury history. I think he's had some fumble history too with the Patriots. And I know he played well for the Rams last year. The only thing I'm trying to tell Dolphin fans is don't think he's a savior. Just hope that he's been able to kind of figure things out to stay on the field because he doesn't lack the talent. The Lord blessed him with the talent to be a good running back, but he has just not been able to find consistency. And because of that, I would tell Dolphin Nation, be careful. Unfortunately, Sony hasn't been reliable. Your thoughts?
Right. So I think the signing was fine. I think they signed him 1 year, $2 million deal. I think the thing you have to understand with Sony Michel is his days of being a lead feature back are over, in my view. And so I think you're signing Sony Michel to be a part of a rotation. And so you already have Raheem Mostert, you already have Chase Edmonds, you already have now you have Sony Michel. You currently have you have Alec Ingold, and those are going to be your top 4 backs on your roster. And so I don't know if Gaskin makes this roster. I don't know if Ahmed makes the roster. Maybe one, definitely not both. But those 4 guys I mentioned are going to be your 4 backs. And so you'll have a role for each of them. And so Sony Michel's issues have been injuries, his ability to stay on the field, his ability to do all those other things. But if you're playing Sony Michel 8 to 10 carries or touches a game versus, 18 to 20, I think you get a better version of him, a more healthy version of him. And the one thing in the Mike McDaniel history, when you watch San Francisco running backs, is that they find a way to use all of their backs in a variety of ways. And so I think fantasy football holders are going to hate this team because there's not going to be a back that there's not going to be a back that's going to get 100 yards consistently. You're going to have a conglomerate that gets 100, 150 yards, and nobody's going to be the guy. And so I think that's why bringing Sony Michel makes sense. He's an inside runner when you didn't really have that role on this team. You had, Mostert's going to be a fast dude on the outside. Chase Edmonds going to be your top receiver who can do some things in and outside as well. And then Sony Michel can be your short yardage. Yeah, he can be your guy along with Ingold to do a lot of those short yardage situations, to be able to use the third and shorts and goal line situations. And everybody has a role. And I think that's how you'll see it fit. So as long as your expectations are, the right way and not that say, oh, Sony Michel's coming home, he's going to be 1,000-yard rusher. No, I just don't see it. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's just kind of that's a great way of looking at it with Sony. It adds really good. Hopefully he stays healthy too.
Yep.
That's also
Yep.
going to be the key for him. But I think you make a great point that if he's just a rotational guy, now you're not putting him in the amount of risk that you normally would if he would be
Right.
featured. And what you said at the beginning is so right. He's seen those opportunities are gone already at this point to be the
Yeah.
featured guy. And in today's NFL, dude, they're not looking for those kind of cats
No.
anymore.
No, there's like
It's
4 or 5 of those dudes in the league, and even some of
yeah.
those dudes are breaking down. I mean, Derrick Henry is one of those dudes, but he got hurt last year because his workload was too much. Christian McCaffrey he's one of those dudes. But guess what? He's been getting hurt recently
Oh,
because
he
his
breaks down all the
workload is too
time.
much. Joe Mixon's probably the one guy who I think is truly carrying that lead load who hasn't got hurt. And hopefully, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing him, but there's not those backs these days who are 25 to 30 carry guys who can consistently carry the load. Teams are figuring out, hey, we need 2 or 3 backs to figure it out, a receiving back, an inside back, and do it all back, and we'll make it work. And I think that's what you're seeing with the Dolphins now. So, I mean, if we look at this thing full picture, I think the Dolphins are completing a lot of their offensive positions. We talked about holes coming in. I mean, center might be the last one that people would say on the offensive side of the ball that needs some competition to be filled there, although I could see them just running in with Dieter and being fine with that. But overall, they're trying to cover a lot of the holes. Receiving room is set, tight end room is set, quarterback room is set, and now the running back room is set the way it'll be. I don't think there's going to be any more significant adds there. So your offense is coming in together. I imagine there's going to be at least another offensive line signing between now and training camp, and then you'll get the full view of what the 2022 Dolphins roster is.
Jamie says, Big O, I think Sony will be a third down and sometimes red zone back on this roster to help get some tough yards. What I would say to Jamie, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, is a lot of their backs can do a lot of the stuff. A lot of the backs can do, maybe not short yardage, everybody, but a lot of those backs are going to be able to be third down backs, a short yardage back, pass catching backs. They really try to get guys that are versatile so that way they can play them in many different ways. So I don't think that Sony will be just that label, just like I don't think Chase will be just one label either.
Yes. And a lot of it, honestly, is going to be a lot of the hot hand vibes. If you watch the Patriots or the 49ers these days, a lot of times it'd be interesting because they would have a surprise inactive one week based on the game plan. Like it might, for example, all of a sudden Chase Edmonds is inactive and you're like, what? And maybe their game plan this week is to be physical. We want to run the ball downhill, or maybe it's Mostert, or maybe we want our receiving backs and Sony Michel's down. So I think a lot of times you're going to see them riding a hot hand. And because of that, maybe one back doesn't get that love that they normally would. So I think you'll see Mike McDaniel really use his creative juices. I know their running back coach, Eric Studesville, he likes everybody to be complete back. But I think you'll see them used a lot in their specific roles and kind of go from there. But like you mentioned, Edmonds, he's a guy who can line up as a receiver. So I wouldn't be shocked to see, certain formations where Sony Michel's in the backfield and they move Chase Edmonds out to slot receiver. Right. And you get both of your backs in that way, and you get a little bit more versatility on offense. Or Raheem Mostert, use him as a motion guy and use him on sweep plays and use his speed out on the outside. So the variety gives you the ability. And like you mentioned, let's just be real, all three of those guys have injury histories. Chase Edmonds has never played 16 games as a starter in his career. Raheem Mostert's coming off a serious injury. Sony Michel's coming off his injury. So you got 3 injury-prone dudes. Hopefully one of them stays healthy by the end of the year. That's your hope. So you kind of piece them together and you think that you have a good backfield with the conglomerate instead of trusting one of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's we had the injury-prone receivers. This year it'll be the injury-prone running backs. Speaking of love, not that it's going to mean anything in victories, but the Dolphins this week and weekend with everything with Formula One, I'll say this, throughout this offseason, Mike McDaniel has connected more with his players than Brian Flores did in 3 years. So I'm just saying, it's just pretty impressive what's going on. If he can't get the most out of his guys, then he did a shitty job of connecting, because he has connected enough that maybe those guys are going to sell out for him a little bit more when they're out there. Of course, winning is always solves everything, but
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
thoughts?
Winning is certainly important, but it's interesting. I was out in Formula One this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and saw a lot of the guys out there, a lot of the players we saw in the videos. But it was interesting seeing some of the videos come out of Mike McDaniel on the track level, posing with pictures with his sunglasses on. He's all up in the music video with his players, having a good time. It was funny to see because I don't remember the last time a head coach was kind of like vibing with his players like he was one of the dudes. And so I know the players like him. I know they are liking the different atmosphere because, as you mentioned, there's a whole different atmosphere with Brian Flores, who's a little bit tougher, or tighter, kind of stern type way of doing things. Where Mike McDaniel's a lot looser and a lot more guys might say fun, and so that makes it easier to be around. Now, does that translate to wins? We'll find out in September, but I do think there's something to be said about building a connection, particularly with your quarterback. Just seeing how him and Tua vibe, all that can do is build a guy's confidence. So we've talked a lot about Tua. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? This is an opportunity where he has a coaching staff that is behind him, that's giving him the verbal and the emotional support. And so it's on Tua to be able to do it. They gave him the receivers, they gave him the support. And I love to see it because if you draft a quarterback, you should be behind him. So I think that's my biggest takeaway, from him being out there with all the guys, him being at the luau with Tua, him being at these different events, that he is giving these guys the support they need, and they feel it, and they love being around them. And so that means something when you're going in the trenches with somebody. You want to have somebody that has your back and that you believe in. And so I'm excited to see what it comes together, man. Like, I'm trying not to overhype it because we're in May and football's still 4 months away, but I do think there's some value in seeing these guys all be jovial and happy-go-lucky with their coach.
No doubt. I'm with you there. I think it's important to have some camaraderie before
Yep.
you start going into, these kind of tough situations.
Yep.
And if there's a connection already, then maybe the sacrifice is also going to be made too at the same time. I'm with you there. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Cameron Wolf. Catch his work there at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, thank you for taking some time, my brother. We'll catch up later in the week.
Appreciate you. Rest that voice, man. Get
Trying,
healthy,
bro.
man. A lot of honey and tea.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I'm working on right now. All right, my man. Thank you.
All right, man.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You got it.
Bye.
There you go. Cameron Wolf, baby. And KSDT, they help you in so many ways. It's not just your taxes, but if you're buying a business, they will help assess that business to make sure before you make that purchase, they will go through everything in that business to make sure that you're making the proper investment and you're going to make money. Your will, if you're looking at what's going to happen towards the end of your life and how everything is going to be, kind of set up, you can do all of those things. KSDT does a lot more than just personal taxes and business taxes. They do a lot more. So check it out. Go to ksdtcpas.com. That is Cameron Wolf.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, we are back. We're back. Thank you. Does it look like we can get Omar here at 11? We're going to try to get Omar here at the top of the hour. I'm trying to,
I just reached out to him. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we're trying to bring in the interviews a little quicker and trying to get those in because it helps my voice, obviously. Sean and the great people at Essential Moving Experts, great new sponsor of ours. And moving was never so easy, folks. Call them 1-844-368-5750. You get $150 off if you mention my name there. And whether you're moving from inside a county, inside a city, inside a state, from state to state, across the nation, it doesn't matter. Essential Moving Experts can help you. Big Dolphin fans, as you can see there, Essential Moving Experts, 1-844-368-5750. Give them a ring and tell them that Big O sent you. Samuel says, Michel potentially will be our third down back, but he is a great pass blocker. I just need him to stay healthy and be a little bit more consistent. Michelle Cuervo says, what do you think about Sony Michel to the Dolphins? I say, Michelle, rewind, and you will find out. It's all there. Greater Good reminds everybody to smash the like button, which is very important. Tom Brady, by the way, has agreed to join Fox as its lead analyst whenever he stops playing, according to Lachiem Murdoch, obviously from the Murdoch family and Fox. So Brady set to join Fox after retirement. How about that? So the GOAT will end up doing some lead analyst stuff, and he's going to have to be critical at times. That'll be interesting. Don't think he'll have a problem with being critical, but interesting how Fox wanted to make sure they locked him up before he even retired. I mean, I think Drew Brees did the same thing. Didn't he sign a deal or agree to a deal or whatever while he was still playing, and then was going to be part of whatever he is? I forgot which company he's with, but I think he did the same thing too. Big O, I don't forget to take a commercial break. Bills need to be paid. Yes, sir. We will. We will definitely take a commercial break. I promise you that. We got the Heat taking on the 76ers tonight. Why don't we do this? We always like talking a little bit about the liquor split matchup of the night. And tonight you're going to be watching some NBA basketball, some NHL hockey, even though the Panthers play tomorrow. But you should always be prepared for a little liquor split and our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
All right, there we go. All right, so tonight, Miami Heat take on the Sixers on TNT. The series is tied at 2 games apiece, FTX Arena. Lowry with the hammy. I know he's going to try to play, but it's, he didn't look good. I would expect Gabe Vincent to start. I think Caleb Martin should be the guy playing a lot more. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze here. Hero's dealing with a left ankle sprain. Caleb's dealing with a left ankle sprain. Strus is dealing with right hamstring strain. Tucker's dealing with the right calf strain. Gabe Vincent right knee irritation. Dedmon had a head cold, and Lowry the hamstring. Heat are favored by 3.5. Over and unders 209.5. 76ers are plus 140, and the Heat minus 165. With no Lowry, and I know Jimmy's going to sell out like he always does. The question is, who are the other guys who are going to step up? And sadly, for my liquor split matchup of the night, I'm going to take the Sixers plus 3.5. If the Heat win, I don't think they win by 3.5. I think they edge them out by a point or two. So I'm going to take the Sixers here. I think it'll be a really, really tight game. So that will be my liquor split matchup of the night. And remember, flat fee of $2.99. So if you want to order your drinks, snacks, all kinds of stuff, iOS or Android, download it. Liquor Split app. Download the Liquor Split. Tap that app, baby, and order it. $2.99 flat fee. No extras, no nothing, no hidden fees. $1 goes to solving homelessness in Miami. 1 hour down, hopefully, Omar Kelly next.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download then tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
What? Oh, look.
your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Protecting your family is your priority. There's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions, from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Slomin's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 2, George Richards is set to join us any minute now with our lockdown segment to talk a little Panthers. Panthers got the edge last night. They got the edge at the end of that third and the edge in the overtime. And by the way, if you want to get Edge Energy Drink, go to myedgedrink.com. Get 10% off of your order wherever you want it shipped, anywhere in the country. Go to myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. All these energy drinks, they have an aftertaste. It's gross. The Edge does not. So Edge Energy Drink. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste. Great elixir to mix it with some vodka, mix it with some rum. I love mixing it with my Grey Goose. It is so awesome. So check it out. myedgedrink.com if you want a great, great, great energy drink. myedgedrink.com is the website for Edge Energy Drink. All right, let's see, what else do we have? I had Waddle last year, and he killed it for me. Hill this year, though. All right, let's do it, baby. It's time for our lockdown segment. The Panthers, they saved the season for now. George Richards joins us next.
Time for the Lockdown segment with Florida Panthers insider George Richards. This lockdown is brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com. Here's FloridaHockeyNow.com insider George Richards.
Lockdown segment, alennylocksmith.com, 24-hour locksmith. So if you're locked out of your car, your home, make sure you call them. If you need to reprogram your car keys, they do that too. And they have locations all throughout South Florida and even our friends in Central Florida, Orlando, and Tampa. We have locations there, and we have another one in Phoenix, Arizona, with more locations across the country to come. All right. The lockdown segment is in. Boy, I was on the edge of my seat last night, George. Holy crap, bro. All the way to the end of that third. You know, the screwed up part was they were playing really good defense. It wasn't like the Caps were getting all kinds of shots. And they did a really good job yesterday, and then finally got the scoring we needed there down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, had Washington won that game, you know, they would have stolen it. They didn't deserve to win. I mean, Florida deserved a better fate than losing last night. And luckily for them, they were able to not get that empty net goal with about, 2:40 left, win the faceoff, keep the puck in the Washington zone. Sam Reinhart ties it. And now, it's a whole new ball game. But, Florida absolutely played the better game. They limited Washington's chances. Washington could, with rare exception, could not set up in the Florida zone. They couldn't get the odd man rush going. Aside from that big hit on Sam Bennett that freed up the puck and sent Kuznetsov flying. Aside from that, you didn't see any of that stuff. I thought Bob was solid. I thought the new defensive pairings. Listen, Mackenzie Weegar and Gus Forsling have been terrific together since last season. I know Aaron Ekblad and Mackenzie Weegar have been playing together for so long, but my goodness, you watch Mackenzie Weegar was a different player last night with Gus Forsling playing on his natural shooting side. It just all worked last night.
Listen, man, last night was needed in a big time way. And one of the things that Washington has done a nice job of is, I don't know, for lack of a better term, they've mucked it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
You can tell that the skating and the speed, dude, the Panthers dominate with the skating and the speed. Sure. But Washington knows that the only way we're going to be able to hang with these guys is we got to dirty it up a little bit. We got to get physical. And that's where I think, that's where Florida is kind of, they weren't the team that got pushed around all this year, but they've got to kind of take it to another level now in the playoffs when it comes to the physicality, correct?
No, yeah, but they are. They have been. The Panthers are matching them hit for hit. Washington's
last night is what I'm saying. That's the turning
but
point.
They've been hitting. I mean, you've been seeing some guys getting laid out a little bit. I just think that Washington, they're no dummies. These guys have won the Stanley Cup before. You've got a coach who's not only won it once, but has been to the finals twice. His guys have bought in. I said this after game one. I didn't think Washington was going to buy in for the entire season, the series, to play that style because they're not used to playing that style, but they have. They've been clogging up the middle. Last night, Florida was able to open it up a little bit. They did some smart things with the forwards. They were able to move towards the middle instead of being pushed to the sides. So Florida adjusted last night, and they adjusted to what Washington's been doing this entire series. And even though the score wasn't there, it was 1-1, 2-1. The chances that they got last night were heads and shoulders above whatever they've been getting previously, which is a great sign.
Yes, exactly. And what do they got to do to maybe create a few more of those chances so we can get a few more goals? I don't like these close games, bro. I'd like to win by 2 or 3 goals here. I don't want to give. I don't want to give any damn breathing room to these stinking Capitals, bro. I mean,
so are they, Bubba. Yeah,
I know. What do we do? What do we do to create more chances for them?
Well, listen, I think that you might see a different game tomorrow in Sunrise. Washington knows Florida's the better team. They know that they would have been extremely lucky to come out of there last night with a win and a 3-2 series lead, and that did not happen. Florida, might have that might be the last we see of the Capitals. I doubt it. I mean, we might have seen the last Capitals win of this season, is what I'm trying to say.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think Florida can win here tomorrow. And then Friday night in Washington, if they play that way again, they play a good, solid road game. They hang out. Their talent is going to overcome. And listen, Samsonov, now the Magic Man, Samsonov, he is not a great goalie. He's been playing like a great goalie. Now he's given up 2 shots on 3 or 4, 2 goals on 3 or 4 shots. Florida needs to bombard him tomorrow, and we might see another goalie in Game 6. That's my prediction that there might be another goalie change if Florida does what it can do tomorrow.
Now, the one thing that I've mentioned from the beginning of this series is the stinking Capitals are really good on the road. Like that's the bad luck.
They're the best team, and they're the best road team in the NHL.
Yeah, the Heat and the Capitals ended up picking up teams in this round because the Sixers actually had a better road record than they had a home record. You know how screwed up that is. And then you look at the Capitals with the Panthers, and you go look at their road record, and it's freaking dominant, man. So they have a comfort zone too on the road, and I don't know what the hell it is, but Florida, and they've already had success here. So that's the other thing that it's almost like message needs to be sent early by the Panthers, not just physically, but also offensively.
Listen, one thing we've talked about, and it blew my mind to hear it. Players saying that, there was nervousness, that we didn't come, we weren't ready to play, yada, yada, yada. I think last night went a big way in this team growing up and seeing what's needed, and they played 60 minutes. They played grinded out hockey. They didn't get frustrated. They shut down, aside from the deflected goal, they shut down Washington's power play. Washington had a 5-on-3 for almost a minute and barely got off a shot. Florida's power play outshot their power play like 10-1. So Florida did a lot of good things. They learned a lot of good things last night, and that's going to help them immensely. Now they've seen it. They've done it. Move forward. All that nonsense about nerves, all that crap. I believe it. I believe it, but I can't believe it. But
no, but wait a minute.
Okay. If that was the case, that's the case. But move on.
But George, this is not a team that's ever been punched in the mouth. This is not a team that's ever been tested. So
they were last year.
No, but this is the year that you're really tested. Here's you had the best record in the league now. People are going after you.
Sure.
Here's the other problem I have with the Panthers that they've got to eliminate. We got to stop falling behind, bro. Got to stop falling behind. I get it throughout the regular season. It was this novelty that we enjoyed, and they stormed back and all that. This is the effing playoffs, bro. Let's start.
Well, sometimes you can't help it, right? I mean, look at Washington's 2 goals last night. Florida should have scored 4 or 5 goals last night and only had 1. So sometimes you can't help it. Washington gets a deflected goal by TJ Oshie again, his second deflection on a power play shot tonight in this series. And then you give up that. Yeah, so they didn't really fall behind. It was only 1-0, and it was only 1-0 for 5-6 minutes. So.
No, but we've fallen behind in other games. It's just what I'm saying. It's just one of those.
Well, and in those games, they just flat out lost. I mean, but last night, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. You would like to not have.
We've had a lot of comebacks this year. A ton of comebacks this year.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But this is a different animal, right? Because back in the day, we all got a point. We all got a point. And a lot of times the Panthers were playing were thrilled to get that point. So when they went into overtime, it was like, go get them, boys. We got our point. It's not that way in the playoffs, obviously. It's a 5-on-5 in the playoffs. It's a winner-take-all kind of thing in the playoffs. Different world now.
Did you think they were losing their cool a little bit early on with all those penalties?
Somewhat. I thought some of the penalties were a little odd. There was some questionable ones. The delay of game. I mean, you don't see a delay of game when you're clearing it around. You got to be smarter than that when you're an official. Who the heck is trying to throw that puck into the stands for a delay of game? He was clearing it along the end boards. He was obviously just trying. It hit something, right? It had to hit the cage to deflect up. So, there were some weird calls in that. And in the Bennett call, I thought because it was high, you should have gotten 2 minutes there. I don't agree. There shouldn't be a suspension, and there won't be a fine. On TJ Oshie, he used his shoulder. That was a shoulder hit. Yeah. But still, when you see a guy, his head whipped back, that's usually 2 minutes, So Florida, Washington got away with one there because boom, they got a goal right out of that. So Washington gets away with 2 there and a big one with the goal.
Yeah, they got a little home cooking there.
And I'm not an official. I'm not a referee guy. Listen. The officiating in all of the playoffs, not just this series, leaves a lot to be desired, and we say that every year. And the NHL does nothing about it. The NHL does nothing about it.
Well, still nothing worse than the NBA.
You'll see the same. You'll see the same goofballs refereeing in the Stanley Cup Finals. You'll be like, what?
Yeah. It may be questionable, but still nothing's worse than NBA refereeing. It's still the worst in all of pro sports. I'm sure
but
international.
At least with the NBA, at least you've got, they look at stuff, at least you can have stuff overturned. In the NHL, there's only a few plays that get overturned, and you have that penalty. If you're wrong, it's a delay of game. The other team gets so you don't review as much as you would. In the NBA, it's almost too much with it because the refereeing is so bad. They have to review everything, right?
Is the worst. All right, what are you working on Florida Hockey Now? So folks can check it out and subscribe, damn it. $3 a month. Give me a break. Go. What do you got?
We got a big story today on Carter Verhaeghe, just on his long road to the Florida Panthers to becoming a playoff. Yeah, stud. I mean, listen, this guy won the Cup in 2020 with Tampa Bay, but he only played 3 games in that 6-game series. He wasn't on the ice when they won it. Last night, he got the chance to be a playoff hero, and man, he really relishes that role. The Panthers are thrilled for Verhaeghe, swaggy, as they call him. I asked Andrew Burnett about, Verhaeghe. I'm like, what does this mean for him? And he just starts laughing. He's like, man, we are so happy for Swaggy. So check it out, FloridaHockeyNow.com. We've also we've got all the links and stuff that you want to read about from around the league. We've got the Washington side of things. So check us out. 2 stories today. There'll be 3 by the end of the day, 4 or 5 stories tomorrow. Nobody covers the Florida Panthers like FloridaHockeyNow.com.
There you go. And I feel for Burnett, bro, because his job is on the line right now, bro. He has to have success in the playoffs in order to take that stinking interim tag out. What happened in the regular season is not what's going to get him that job It's what happens.
And he knows
now
that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course he knows. Of course he knows. I saw with one of those penalties, his face was like, oh, God, I can't believe this. That kind of stuff. You feel for the man. All right. Follow him on Twitter at George Richards, as always. And please subscribe to Florida Hockey Now, like some of us do. So support the man. George, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up next week.
All right, Orlando. Be good, brother.
You got it. That is your lockdown segment. Omar Kelly is next.
This has been the Florida Panthers Lockdown segment, brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Call 855-869-5625 or go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Couldn't you go for like a minute?
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome back. We await Omar Kelly. Steve Rupert says, you need to go home and take care of yourself. We will survive a day. Thank you, Steve. By the way, my bedroom's about 15 feet away, 20 feet away. I am home, Steve. The studio is home. But yes. Maybe we will build a big studio somewhere. Who knows? One day. Maybe we'll put it somewhere out there where people can interact with us and all that kind of stuff. You never know. There might be a business that could step up to be the host of the show, where Sean and I would have to then get out of our houses and go over to a studio one day. You never know. We'll get Omar on in a minute. When sports and business collide, we have a business report, right? And it's called the KSDT Sports Business Report. All right. Well, sports and business, when they collide, it's called the KSDT Sports Business Reports. And, when not all businesses are actually good business, right? And in this case, something's going on in the NFL that I have no idea and I can't explain. Bets are coming in on Dan Campbell for the Lions to be the coach of the year. Okay. According to Caesars Sportsbook, almost 3 times as many bets have been made on Campbell as coach of the year than any other coach. Twice as much money wagered on Campbell than any other coach. Campbell has shifted from 60-1 to 25-1 in the past week. He's still a long shot, even to make the playoffs. But a lot of people think that Dan Campbell will be coach of the year in the betting books. I got to tell you, that's sports business. That's bad business. Okay? The ankle biter, that doesn't get you wins, dude. Dan Campbell, is he doing the Oklahoma drill too? Come on, man. You're betting on Dan Campbell to be coach of the year. You should be betting on Mike McDaniel to be coach of the year. That's what you should be betting on, not Dan Campbell. The hell is wrong with you people? That's your KSDT Sports Business Reports.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
It is time to talk to Omar Kelly. Thank you, Omar. Appreciate you adjusting like everybody else today because I am hurting, my brother. I appreciate you as always. Thank you. How you feeling?
I'm good. What we got, man? What's the situation?
Oh, it's just cold. That's all it is. It's just screwing my voice up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you perfectly. You're good. You're good. No, it's just a cold. It happens to me once or twice a year. I sleep with my mouth open, and I have these 2 fans that are constantly hitting me. And normally I keep my mouth closed. But if I leave it open, man, that wind's going in my throat, and boom, it just locks it up, and it's over. So I appreciate you adjusting because I am running out of voice here. I'm using as many things to try to keep the voice as alive as possible. So we will try. One guy says Omar better not question your work ethic. You ever question my work ethic, Omar?
Never. Even back when I.
Wait a minute. You're breaking up there. We can't hear you.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Wait a minute. I'd like to talk.
All right.
It's entertainment, at least. It's like watching Martin do interviews with entertainers. Yes, we hear you now. We hear you now. You there? All right, you're going to have to stay still at one point. You know what I mean? You're like a 10-year-old.
I'm here, but unfortunately,
where,
my car, we're logged in.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah,
The car
you're
won't
good.
turn off. No, okay.
Okay.
Let me call you back because that's the only way this car is gonna not connect to the audio.
Okay, you got it.
All right.
All right, you got it. So we will get Omar reconnected again. Remember, you can always reach out to us on the Welton Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. Appreciate you all out there as always. Live radio or live whatever you want to call this is that's the fun part about it. That's why I don't do the typical podcast, because people can then dress it up. I like it live. I like it raw. I like to do things the way they're meant to be. So, all right, now we good? We good now?
Yeah, it should be good.
Yes. Yeah, you sound good now. You are definitely locked in. Sony Michel, Dolphins sign him. Your thoughts on the addition of Sony Michel?
You know, it's a little bit surprising, even though I thought the fact that Mike McDaniel got upset or bothered or fell out his chair when a back was taken in the 4th round, that should have been an indicator for me. But they clearly feel like they're missing one more piece, and I think that's the power back. That's the back that can gain those tough yardages. And adding Sony Michel makes sense. I think he probably jumps to the forefront as the most seasoned and experienced back on the roster. Not exactly the best back that fits the scheme, but the best back that can get those tough, hard to gain yards and red zone runs. And I think he's got a lot of dual purpose to him too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. The only thing I've told Dolphin fans is, unfortunately, has injury history and, fumbling also, and those kind of, he hasn't been able to find consistency. And let me tell you, I was a big Sony Michel fan coming out of Georgia, but he just hasn't been able to find that consistency. That's the only thing I would tell Dolphin fans, that I love his talent, but he's got to find a way to stay on the field. And hopefully, Cam Wolf had a good point earlier in the show. You're not using him as a bell cow. So he's a part-time back. So it'll be better that way for him.
Everybody's a part-time back. Everybody's a part-time back. They're a platoon system. So I don't think we'll ever see the day of Dolphins using. I haven't covered a coach who believed in a bell cow back. Not one. Not one Dolphins coach. Even Adam Gase.
Once there was our last guy with Ricky and Lamar.
Even Adam Gase, when he had Adam Gase hated Jay Ajayi. And he hated the fact he had to rely on Jay Ajayi. And he hated the fact that Jay Ajayi could demand the ball and have valid claims for the ball. That's why Jay Ajayi got traded. And Adam Gase hated Jay Ajayi. And, they just don't believe in that one back. I haven't covered a coach.
That's most of the NFL now. That's the way it goes, which, by the way, is understandable. I mean, look what's happened the last few years. All these backs that have gotten the big deals, they've all become bad deals pretty much, and that's the sad part. Only Derrick Henry, and he broke down. It's very few that you really want as bell cows nowadays. It's not worth it.
I mean, I think tailback is probably one of the most disrespected positions in all of professional sports. I wouldn't wish a tailback. If I knew, and I say this all the time, if I know somebody who has a great athlete and a young great athlete and is looking for guidance and he plays tailback, I'm telling that parent immediately he needs to stop playing tailback. All he's doing is shortening his career, shortening his life, and limiting his money. I get it. Playing running back is fun. It's great. You get the ball. You're the center of attention. But there's no future in it, bro. Go play cornerback. Five cornerbacks on every single team. And all you really got to do is knock down the ball when it's thrown your way, because you really don't have to tackle. If you catch the ball, you're going to be making twice as much money as a tailback.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's just it's an undervalued. It's a devalued position in pro sports. It's the most devalued position because it's the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports. That's also the problem. Not you can find more people that can play running back than they can corner, defensive end, left tackle. That's just the way it is, unfortunately, man. It's a sad part, but it's the reality.
And everybody started playing running back when they played sports teams, sports leagues, you name it, they played running back. Just because they were probably the best athlete on their team. When you're talking about a professional athlete or a high-level college athlete, all of them play running back. All of them play with the ball in their hands because they're the best athlete on their team.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the post by Nick from Perform, which is to his agent, to his trainer. He said that those two guys hit it off last year in workouts. So, I mean, not that that means anything whatsoever to the team because there's a new coach and all that. So everything changed. But for depth purposes, it fits what they're doing, right?
Yeah, because I don't think it's necessary.
He is a little different than the other guys, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I don't think it's necessary, but it fits and it makes sense. Now, if you're going to do this and fill this hole, I'm dying to see what you're going to do at center. And I would love to see you add another inside linebacker. I'd love to see you add another pass rusher. And you've had guys who all played that position except for center in for workouts who I would give you a thumbs up if you signed them. But, you know, we're nitpicking the roster and they got money. They got money.
No, but what I'm saying is
they're holding out to make it cheaper.
Right. I think he's waiting
so why
for
pay Sony
I'm saying
Michel
Chris
$2
Greer.
million?
Yeah, I think Chris Greer is waiting for his price, not their price. That's what I'm thinking, right?
At this point, guys are just trying to find jobs. Now, some veterans like the J.C. Treaders, and I don't even think that this applies to him. One thing I'll say about Treader, there's bad history with the NFLPA as president and teams wanting the NFLPA president in their locker room. So that's what he's got working against him, which is why I never want to be the NFLPA president. And in fact, people who are on the executive council told me they don't want to be the NFLPA president. Nobody wants the union president in their camp. But let's move on from Treader.
But it's not a matter of moving on. It's a great point you make, but he is a player that you could use. But again,
I'm saying you sign him, you upgrade the center position. You should make the playoffs. You should right now. I looked at a power ranking. Not that I look at power rankings, but if I did look at a power ranking, it would be now, not during the season. They're the 17th, 18th best team in the NFL according to the power rankings. Okay. As you know, 16 make it to the playoffs. So
yes.
So they're right there on the fringe. Right there. They're in the balance. And that's before injuries.
They're a 9-10 win team the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You fix the offense. If you do fix the offense, if you guys are what you are.
Yeah. And this quarterback takes the next step, you should be a playoff team. Why not do something that strengthens your chances and possibility? You sign Treader. I would say you go from the 17th best team to the 14th best team. Because now you don't have a single weakness on your line.
Again, what price, what length of contract, what's he looking for? Those are the things that maybe they don't want. Maybe they only want him for a year. And maybe he wants a 2 or 3 year deal because he wants some guarantees. And they're like, no, we're not.
We don't know until he signs.
All these cats that have come in lately have been 1 year deals, right?
Yeah, they don't sign multi-year deals to grizzled veterans, especially at this point. No, he ain't getting. I don't think Treader thinks he's getting a multi-year deal. Nobody signed him to a multi-year
especially
deal.
with his knee history, right?
You're 30 years old. They don't do that anymore. I would love to know what his medical history is. Maybe I can ask. I can actually ask somebody in Cleveland and see what the situation is. Now that I think about it.
So let me ask you this. Last year, you were very concerned about the offensive line. You said it would be terrible, and it was. You were very concerned about the
Before
injury
camp
history.
started. Remember that. Remember, it was
I know
before
that. I
camp
know that.
started.
I know. I have a memory. You don't, but I have a memory.
A sick
What's it
man is
called?
taking shots at me right now.
Yeah, that's right. You
I
also
have
said
a voice that you don't.
you weren't very comfortable with the receiver situation because there was a shit ton of injury history in it.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. How concerned are you with the injury history of the running backs, including Sony Michel, that you just added to go along with the other guys that also have injury history? How concerned should we be about that?
I don't know about Chase Edmonds' injury history. I don't think he has one.
He doesn't have a big injury history. No, it's
Mike-
Mostert and this kid now.
Mostert is a 1-year ACL. That's
No, he had another injury before that too. I think he also had another injury before that too. I gotta look it up. But yeah,
Gaskins has been a knee and COVID. I mean, you got 5. You'll figure it out. 2 matter.
Okay.
You got 5.
I just say because Mostert and Michelle are the two that have some injury history. That's why.
Are you counting on Michelle being the starter? Like,
I'm counting on all of them contributing. I don't really think there's a starter. I think it's one of those things that they're going to interchange. Hell, I think Alex Ingold will take some of the short yardage stuff at times that you would think might go to other guys. So who knows?
If everybody gets 15 touches a game, top 3 guys gets 15 touches a game, who cares? I don't care. Like, I think it's more the line than it is the back. The scheme is all the line. The scheme makes backs if they do it right. So I'm not worried about you can give me Jared Dokes. I won't care. Like, I believe that this scheme makes backs. So I'm not really worried about the injury history or like Sony Michel. Like, all right, cool. Throw him on the pile. I thought it was a little expensive, a little pricey, but who knows what's guaranteed, and they can walk into camp and probably see what they got and just toss them to the side. Because I promise you, probably less than $500,000 of his contract is guaranteed.
I'm sure.
What I do find interesting is that the money you're paying him puts him immediately ahead of Gaskin. And the one thing I thought that this coaching staff would do is they would, especially with Eric Studsville, still the running back coaches, they will walk into this offense and into these practices with a blank slate and let these guys compete and figure out where they all stack up. And if that happened, I did like Gaskin's chances because if you remember, Gaskins beat out, I believe it's Kenyon Drake. Gaskins beat out Jordan Howard. Gaskins beat out Matt Breida. And I'm not a huge fan, but I know the kid is competitive. Like, the kid is top 10 in rushing history in NCAA. Like,
by the way, who was it last year that ended up getting Jordan and actually using him and making him productive?
Eagles.
The Eagles, right? It was, yeah. It's like, holy shit.
Bro, yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting case study because Jordan, when I saw him train at Bomberitos before the season. I was like, yeah, this guy's done. And then he came here, was trash. Went to play for the Eagles, was decent. Signed a second year. Yeah. Signed a second year and had a decent year. So I'm like, I don't know nothing. So
I mean, he was solid for Washington. The thing about him is he's limited because he's not a pass.
Did he play for Washington last year?
No, what did I say? Well, I mean, Chicago. He was decent for Chicago when he
yeah.
Where was it, Nebraska or wherever the hell he came from?
He was decent with the Eagles.
Yeah. That was crazy how they used him. By the way, you mentioned it. How bad does Dokes feel right now? Like, he's got to be going like, dude, I'm not getting any.
You got cut and you made the practice squad last year. If you were a 7th round pick doing what you're supposed to do, know your playbook, backwards and forwards, you wouldn't have got cut. I don't stress about that. Dude, you're a 7th round pick.
I know, but the poor kid is just like, oh yeah, he's got no shot now, dude. Pretty much. I mean,
no, look at Mostert's career path. Like, he was on like 5 practice squads before his career took, including Miami.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when he was starting for the 49ers in the Super Bowl, I didn't remember him here. Like, I still didn't remember him here. Like, he was here for a cup of coffee. And no, he wasn't even here he was here longer than that. Don't remember him at all. Zero recollection. No knowledge of him.
Yeah. No, that's one of those positions that, you can bounce around and then eventually find your way. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I thought they should have signed?
I kind of feel bad for the kid that, again, he came in with a different coaching staff. I don't know whose pick that was or whatever.
I don't feel bad for
this coach has a different point of view of what he wants to use. And Jared
I don't
Stokes
feel bad for anybody because your opportunity is what you will create. Look at Myles Gaskin, 7th round pick. Stole the starting spot. From a Pro Bowler, a guy you traded for, and a Kenyon Drake. Stole it.
But he was given an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's just this kid hasn't even gotten to that point yet, you know?
He wasn't even given an opportunity. Myles Gaskin just took the job. Just took it.
Jared Stokes may end up in the XFL or the, one of those leagues, USFL or whatever, to try to reprove himself when it's all said and done. Unless he ends up in the practice squad again. What do you think?
Who cares? I don't. Like, I don't. Undrafted rookies, 7th round picks, like Larnell Coleman. Like, that guy was horrible in camp.
Yeah, he was bad.
And the fact that they IR'd him to keep him on the 53, like, bro, this ain't charity work. Like, he should have been cut and put on the practice squad, if that. Like, these guys are on the roster, grace and mercy. Like, just because you're drafted, then you should not be guaranteed a spot. Go out there and earn it. Do what it takes to prove that you belong on the roster. That's all I care about. Because there are undrafted guys like Nick Needham that bust their what to keep that check coming every Tuesday.
Oh, you look at so outside of those moves, you're not hearing anything else for the Dolphins. It looks like they're pretty close to done now, right?
They'll always add right before camp. They'll always add. They've never not added right before camp. They'll add linebacker. They'll add
what number are they at right now, right? Because isn't it like 90 that you got to have?
It's hard to tell what the official number is because they have not announced what undrafted players have signed, and until they announce it, I look at it as some of these guys are getting tryouts. They're not signed, so agents lie all the time. So they'll say a guy signed and he's really a tryout guy. The only 5 have been reported to the league, and those are the 5 that I count. So I can't tell you exactly what number they're on right now.
Any man crush on any of the undrafted free agents?
If you put a gun to my head, I couldn't name you one.
Okay. All right. Sometimes you run into somebody in the league that tells you about one of the guys, and then all of a sudden.
My approach has always been with undrafted guys. When they start to work their way up the depth chart or they start to make plays in practice, I'll pay attention. I'll learn their name.
Right. I got you.
Nick Needham. I learned Nick Needham's name 2 weeks into camp. Preston Williams, I learned his name 1 week into camp. Like, like the rest of the 15, like, they don't matter. The AJ Francis's of the world, those guys, they'll raise their hand and say, "Hey, I'm here. Like, pay attention to me. You better learn my name." They do that, and it's very.
You brought up something very interesting. Because it looks like they're pretty loaded at wide receiver. Will Preston Williams have to make an impact or an impression early to his new coach in order to gain any real playing time and set himself up? Because, they drafted Azukama. So I'm just wondering, obviously McDaniel must love something about him. And you start to look at all the receivers. Where does Preston Williams fit? Does he fit? Can he fit? I've kind of lost, confidence in that kid already as it is. So you tell me, what's the uphill climb for Preston Williams this season?
Learn the playbook. Same thing. I put him in Lynn Bowden Jr. category. You better learn the playbook. And you better learn it fast because this is a new offense. Everybody's on equal footing. Preston Williams, you can't be 3 years in, even though the offense changed on you every single year. You can't be 3 years in and saying, hey, I don't know the playbook when Isaiah Ford knows it. Like, right. So that's his issue. Talent is there. Undeniable that the talent is there. The understanding of the offense, the ability to read defense, the ability to execute and do your job and do your assignment. That's his biggest challenge. Same thing with Lynn Bowden Jr. Two guys, phenomenal talents. Got to get it up here. And
I love Lynn Bowden's what's it called? His skill set for this offense. With Preston,
absolutely.
It's just I don't know if Preston can screw
you always
his
need a big dude. You always need a big physical slant receiver. I hate how Dolphin fans.
I know, but Ezukama might be that guy because that's why they drafted
Preston
him.
Williams outperformed the entire 2019 draft class. Him and Nick Needham. They outperformed everybody in that draft class. How quickly we forget. The talent is there. No, there's no doubt the talent is there.
Nobody's denying that, Omar. Nobody that has watched Preston.
He's good. I hate giving up on a guy. Yeah, we know his issues. I just hate giving up on a guy because they haven't haven't dropped in the last 4 years. Preston Williams, if anything, this is my favorite period of an NFL
or lack of maturity, by the way.
I think it's more this. He's in my favorite period of an NFL career. It's the period where you're hanging on to an NFL job and a check like this. It's like it's just barely in your grasp.
Does he realize it?
Huh?
He got
to.
I hope
you didn't pick up your restricted tender. Then not only did they not pick up your restricted tender, nobody else signed you, and they signed you to relatively a minimum deal. Right. After you wanted to go explore what are your other options and get a fresh start somewhere else, because you did want to do that, and then you didn't have the opportunity. So you came back here, tail between legs, and said, okay, if I want to continue to play in the NFL, this is it. I love this is it.
I hope he's ready to respond to this is it.
Oh, my God, I love this is it. I've seen
Is he mature enough to understand that and go out there and ball out?
That's when you realize those checks aren't guaranteed. This is it. That's my favorite part of an NFL career. One of my favorite stories, and I'll never tell the player's name. He was on the final year of his rookie deal. A financial advisor had stolen all his money. Family needs had taken all his money. He was living paycheck to paycheck. Dead broke in the offseason. Dead broke. And he was in a this is it year. Lo and behold, had a phenomenal year. Not gonna say what happened from there, but he had a pretty impressive career from that point. But he needed that this is it moment, that this is it situation to light that fire, to get that grind going. And he became one of my favorite players because he was like, I'm hungry. Like, this is it. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And I took it for granted previously. But I'm not going to take it for granted not right now, because I'm about to be out of here. And he balled.
Who was that?
Can't tell you the name. Not my business to tell you.
Okay. Well,
you have to figure it out. Not that hard. But
okay.
The financial advisor part is that's like inside information. But he was dead broke, not a penny to his name.
Oh, I just hope Preston is mature enough to figure that out, because that's where I think he's kind of hurt himself. That I don't think he's
Oh, he's
mature enough.
definitely it. You know what's funny is he's like, I can't say fake deep, but there's a depth to him that you don't get or hear about in football context. Like if you, I know you're bothered by the Dogecoin and all, and I watched the.
Oh, I laugh at that stuff.
Yeah. I watched a Bitcoin, like an hour tutorial on Bitcoin, because I'm still not comfortable with it. And yeah, they laugh at Dogecoin too. So I was like, yeah, Big O was right. Yeah, it's like Bitcoin is. I mean, Dogecoin is like a scam. Did you know there are like 19,000 different like Bitcoin cryptocurrencies?
Oh yeah. But doesn't mean they're all good. Most of them are bad. That's why you got to be careful on what you're going to invest in, because certain companies are just, and there's meme coins, which they have no basis and they have no technology, which is the problem with Dogecoin. That has no technology and nothing to build on. So that's the problem with it. It's kind of you have to understand the whole damn thing. I don't know if he does. See, you hate to see the Sylvester Grays of the world disappear off the map. Yeah, that's a long time ago. But
I know a Jonas Gray, not a Sylvester.
Sylvester was a player in the expansion years of the Heat who came out of Memphis, was God gifted, like a body of Adonis. Athleticism was just through the roof, but he couldn't harness it. He couldn't figure it out. Harold Miner. You run into these guys over the years that they can play the game at the highest level because
Some
the
of
good
them
Lord
is just
blessed
a
them.
maturity standpoint. I think I read somewhere Harold Miner, after his career was over, he was just like, "Yeah, I didn't work hard enough. I didn't take it seriously."
Exactly. Yeah.
I lived off my talent.
Right. Jamarcus Russell. There's something that stops these guys, whether it's maturity, lack of professionalism, commitment, whatever it is.
Same reason I can't take my fat ass to the gym. Sometimes
you and me both.
Sometimes you just don't have that motivation, Big O. You got to take it away from me.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you see with Preston, that he can be that guy.
I can tell you, I haven't
figure it out, bro.
I haven't seen a dominant receiver like him since Brandon Marshall, practice-wise. Now, that don't mean he can put it all together. Because remember, I saw him 2 years just absolutely dominate practice against elite players. Like, he made me think Byron Jones was the biggest bust the Dolphins have. Byron Jones was in Jabril Wilson territory, Jay Grove territory, the way Preston was housing him all training camp.
Cecil Collins. You see these guys over the years, and that they were gifted, and they just, for whatever reason, they screw it up. You know what I mean? And that's where I am with Preston. It's like, kid, figure it out, bro. You can make a lot of money. You can control your destiny like nothing else if you just put your mind to it, bro. That's all. And we see these kind of guys in every sport. Doesn't matter what it is. I've seen the Wes Chamberlains and the Brian Taylors and the, I've seen them in all sports, and I can name them. And
not ability. It's always that's part of the reason why, if somebody asks me what's the number one trait that you look for in a player, generally, it's not athletic ability. It's not the body, it's the intelligence. Because in my 15 years,
the commitment, the professionalism has to come with that too.
I'm just saying the trait that I'm looking for, because the universal thread to every player that I've seen come here and have a tremendous amount of success, significant success, outperform their athletic ability, outperform their draft status, outperform whatever they were, maximize the talent that they had. You know what the common thread is? Intelligence. The Brian Hartlines of the world. Brian was a decent athlete. He was a competent receiver, but you know what made him a multi-year starter and 2-year, 1,000-yard receiver for the Miami Dolphins? Is this.
Yeah.
And that's why he's at Ohio State pumping out the best wide receivers in the nation.
And by the way, he was a tough little sumbitch too. On top of all of that, I give Brian a little credit.
He was a tough guy.
Yeah. Nah. When you're not that gifted, you got to be tough to survive that to that point.
Jarvis was a tough son of a
No, but that's his play. I'm talking about the toughness of overcoming the fact that you're not as gifted. So when you're not as gifted,
Brian, if you talk to Brian, he'll tell you he's as gifted as anybody else on that team. He'll tell you I ran track and I'm this fast and blah blah blah, and he's very confident. So I don't think he'll take a backseat to anybody athletically. He won't. He just won't. I miss having conversations.
He's the number one recruiter. He's the number one recruiter in the country.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I know he's the number one wide receiver coach in the country.
Apparently he is like the ultimate in recruiting.
I said this probably 2 coaches ago. The fact the Dolphins have not done whatever it takes to get him on their coaching staff, and I don't have any issue with Wes Welker. But when you maybe
he's a college guy. Maybe he doesn't want to coach in the pro.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? I'm sorry. Money talks.
I know, but he seems to be recruiting like the best receivers to Ohio State.
Cool.
Like
Money
he's getting
talks.
the best receiver. I know, but
cool.
Maybe he's getting
money talks.
Ohio State pays.
Brian, cool. Money talks. And Boss Ross like to make that paper dance. So
no, I get it, but
listen, I think Brian Hartline in 10 years is going to be a phenomenal head coach somewhere. I really do. I can always tell you those guys in the locker room. And the funny thing is, when he was in the locker room, and I talked to him all the time because he's one of those guys that when I didn't understand, and this is where people don't understand, 1, the value of going into the locker room, and 2, the value of relationships that you build with players. There are 2 players, one on offense and one on defense. Usually I always find 2, where if something happened and it didn't make sense to me on offense or defense, I would go to them and ask them what happened, or why did this not work, or what broke down here, what was the byproduct, and they tell me, they give me a tutorial in education. Brian Hartline was phenomenal at explaining things in their simplest form so that I can understand it, so that I can share it with the masses in terms of what happened that led to whatever was going on. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. The Mike Gesicki. Remember the Buffalo game where Mike Gesicki's like, there's all kinds, he's struggling to get Waddle didn't know his assignments, and Mike Gesicki's trying to be policeman and police everybody's assignments.
Yeah.
Brian Hartline would have broke that whole situation down for me and explained exactly everything that happened in detail. And Gesicki did well. Gesicki did his job without throwing anybody under the bus. But
he meant well. He meant well in that position. He was trying to help his team.
Well. Oh no! I don't blame Mike Gesicki for anything, because Mike Gesicki was trying to get people. Everybody else was screwing up. Mike was trying to get everybody right.
Mike knew where everybody was supposed to be. Exactly. Yes.
And that's why I bring up Mike, because Hartline would be that guy, and then Hartline would be the one explaining to me why things happened the way they happened. He'd go into the week and tell you what happened during the week that messed up this and that day practice and this. And I love that. I appreciate that so much.
I hope Gesicki fits like a glove to this offense, because he is one of those guys that I've grown to really like a lot. And I hope he's here forever, bro. I hope he gets to retire.
You know how I feel about that.
I like him. I know you're not as big a fan, but I like Gesicki, man. I think he can sell out. All right. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we're just getting ready for rookie minicamp here. We got the schedule release coming out. Dolphin fans are, I don't know, trying to figure out what their road trip is. I know it's not going to be Detroit. But I'm going to look at the schedule and tell everybody what the best road game is. Because Dolphin fans, they need that guidance. Tell you what the best city is.
Do you know any of the leaks of the schedule? Because people keep asking me about Buffalo in week 1, but I don't even know if it's true or not. Whatever, bro. Week 1, week 10,
50% of those leaks are accurate, to be honest with you. 50% of I don't know them. I don't pay attention to them because I don't care. But 50% of those leaks are accurate. They come from somewhere, and yeah, 50% of the leaks are accurate.
I get it for some fans because they travel, so they may want to, so I get that part.
I travel.
Those fans, I understand the ones that want to travel and go to a game. What's that?
I travel. All it does is it knocks off probably $50 off your hotel stay. Okay, a night. Okay,
hey, $50 is a couple drinks. So there you go, a couple of extra drinks on the road. Nothing wrong with that.
$50 equates to 2 drinks in South Beach.
Right.
Miami, not South Beach.
5 in Buffalo. So there you go.
You got me.
All right. There you go. You're wasted already in Buffalo, right?
All right. You got me.
Like when you get on that that wheel in Las Vegas.
No, it's 4 in Buffalo. 4 in Buffalo. You forget your tips.
Have you seen that carousel that the thing they have in Buffalo? in Vegas. The big wheel.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said they had one in Buffalo. I was going to make a big
No, not Buffalo. I mean, Vegas. But they have bars inside of those things. So you have you pay a flat fee and you can drink as much as you want during the 30 minutes. So people are drinking 4, 5, 6 drinks during that whole thing, going all the way around in a half hour, 45 minutes, because I think it takes a half hour, 45 minutes to go all the way around.
I've been meaning to get on the one in Miami. There's one here downtown.
Yes.
I've been meaning to go. That might be a good thing to do with my wife.
For sure, dude. Good move.
Yeah.
Yes. Good move.
Make that happen. Make some love on the carousel.
There you go. Now we're talking. There you go. Film it and everything and make some money. There
I don't know if I'm gonna film it now. Let's
you guys can go the road of Kim K, and then both of you become, reality stars. That's all. There you go.
Well, did you see Ray J finally put out that it was basically her mother,
right. She set it all. The mother set it all up. In other words,
set it all up.
She knew that they had the tape, and she's the one that's wanted to put out the tape. And
I'm sorry, but if putting out a sex tape of my daughter creates 4 billionaires.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
4 billionaires. Biggest empire.
I get that, but it's just see, my problem with all of that is I have no respect for them as it is. So it's just, but whatever. You got your money, you don't care. So live your life, whatever.
4 billionaires.
Have all your plastic surgeries and
their kids. Listen, do you not think that Kim and Kanye's kids are gonna be and Chloe's kids aren't gonna be the next?
Yeah, but I don't put Kanye. Don't look. Kanye is crazy, okay? But Kanye made his money legit, okay?
Okay,
not skankiness, okay? He didn't have to go sell his body
made her money legit.
to make his money, So I don't put Kanye in anywhere near those idiots. You know what I mean?
Made her money
and I'm not a
legit
Kanye fan. But dude, I give him credit. He makes his money his own way, the legal way, the right way. It's just, I don't know, sex tape. It's just.
I mean, that was just the beginning. Hold on now. She's made. That was only worth like a couple million. She's made $1 billion.
No, I get it. But again, it's. I wouldn't feel good, and I'm sorry. I know I'm going to insult a bunch of people now. Here we go. But watching that show or whatever, if your wife or your kids are following those leads, you might have failed somewhere in your home. That's all I got to say. Anyway, I'm sorry, dude. You know, have some scruples in life.
My wife doesn't watch him. So
follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and watch him. Follow and subscribe at the South Florida Sun Sentinel and get his work there and catch him twice a week here before my voice goes out. Oh, thank you for adjusting, my brother. Appreciate it. I needed it.
Yeah, before we go, we had Justin Gatling on I Am Athlete. A really interesting conversation from former track Olympians, drug suspensions, the rival to Usain Bolt. Interesting conversation. I just didn't know all the track guys and girls have to go through. They're not unionized, and basically there's no money in track.
Oh, it's terrible, bro. It's
so
terrible.
I didn't know how terrible it was.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's very few that end up in the, that category of FloJo and, rest in peace. And
even
those elite ones that end up with the top sponsorships and stuff like that, Carl Lewis and those kind of cats. Yeah, there are a few that end up making, Michael Johnson, those kind of cats, they end up making a lot of money. And to Michael's credit, he has become a great trainer too now.
I haven't heard anybody he's trained lately, which is weird. Isn't it Michael Johnson Performance?
Yeah, something like that it's called. Yeah, I don't know who the guys that go there.
He hasn't trained guys lately because I haven't heard much about him. So I'll check.
I don't know if he's still doing it or what. But what I'm saying is, though, he was one of those few track stars that got, the break of the sponsorships. But if you don't get the break of the sponsorships, dude, yeah, it's rough. It's rough sledding for them. It's tough. Yeah. We don't really treat our U.S. athletes the way we should. In a way, we should be, it should be a job that we should employ them because they have to make a career commitment to it in order to win in the Olympics and everything else. But it's almost like, we let them do it on their own, and which, by the way, makes it even more amazing that we dominate the way we do, considering everybody else has a bigger commitment to their athletes than we do. It's crazy. Doesn't make any sense. It's unfair. Yeah. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check that one out.
That. You can find it on YouTube.
Always. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his work there at the Sun Sentinel. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you.
Right. Appreciate you, man.
That's our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Jamie says, Big O, you're an amazing fighter. I'm extremely impressed and appreciative of the hard work and fight. I love blue-collar grind. It's the only grind I know, my brother. It's the only grind that Sean Stanley knows.
Hey, O.
What we do. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Officially, Kyle Lowry out of Game 5. I know.
Yeah, I just saw that. I retweeted it now that he is officially out with the hamstring injury. Sucks. Florida born, Kentucky grown says, I completely agree. Oh, we need to treat our Olympic athletes better. They put their bodies through hell. Yeah. No, it's been terrible, man, the way we've done that. Dwayne says, Big O, I live in Buffalo. I hope Dolphins play Bills in week 1. Love the show, Big O. Omar always kills Buffalo. Okay. Thank you, sir, for keeping it locked here. Big O, since you love music, I'm dying to see a John Williams concert. Love the movie composer Bill Conti, John Williams, Hans Zimmer. John Williams did all Spielberg movie legends. That would be an interesting concert. Big O, shout out from the wine country in Northern California. Love the show. Thank you, Ron. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we can get Ira on now. Sean, can you see? Well, now he's with his mom. He can't. I am going to have to turn it in now. I would love to keep the show going, but I just cannot. And it's not a good thing for me to try to go another hour and burn my throat out. So I'd rather just call it a day. and wrap it up here on the program. I appreciate all the guys for adjusting with me. Cameron Wolf, Manny Navarro, Omar Kelly, and George Richards. Ira will be back tomorrow with Clay in our Sloman's Inside the Paint show. I'd love to hang in there, but it's not a good thing for me to do that. But we got in 2 hours, man, which is pretty amazing. Actually, we're at 2 hours and 12 minutes now, which is pretty amazing that we were able to do it. Hunter Butler, thank you for the love on the super chat. I appreciate that. George says, Big O, you guys work like a dog. My advice, though, is to continue doing the show from home. Nothing like having the option of doing it from your tidy whities. No, but I got dressed up for you guys and everything. Got my East West Shrine shirt on and everything. So it's not like I'm in my PJs. Thank you. Sloman says, feel better. Thank you. I appreciate it. All of you out there. We're going to turn it in an hour or actually 47 minutes early for today. We'll try to get back on track and get the voice going. I love you all out there. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.